up, guys? It's me, your buddy Nessa, better known as GreatLove91 on Twitter, and this is the Squared Circle Addicts YouTube channel. Welcome back, guys. As promised, like I said, uploads here on this channel are now going to become a regular thing, as well as the Squared Circle Addicts podcast. The podcast is going to be used for more longer discussions, like things that I'm extremely passionate about, like pay-per-view predictions and things like that. Fantasy booking and maybe like monumental moments. That's gonna be more used for the podcast, raw review shows, things like that. And then here on this channel, you're gonna get like AEW predictions as well as like favorite list videos, like favorite matches, favorite theme songs. Fantasy booking. The more fun type of stuff will be devoted for this channel, and then the straight up like reviews and discussions of Raws and things like that will be over on the podcast. But as I said, I'm going to be using this platform, YouTube here, more for the AEW type of stuff, since it is right now a smaller promotion in terms of WWE. And obviously I am very unfamiliar with the promotion, so I figure a video is best. However, that does not mean that in the future we will, or I won't, devote podcast to AEW, because I kind of did that already when the John Moxley interviews came out and stuff, because, again, longer discussion. But anyway, this is a lot of rambling. This is a long intro. Thank you for sticking with me. But today, and I wrote it all down because, like I said, very unfamiliar still with AEW, we are going to be going over the AEW Fight of the Fallen match card, which takes place tomorrow, I believe. I don't know the time. I think it's 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and then 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, this is going to be available for free on Bleacher Report. So, obviously, I'm going to be watching, and I'm pretty sure you guys are too, so I wanted to give my predictions. And again, disclaimer, I'm very new to the AEW scene. I mean, I guess we all are, but I mean in the terms of like the group, the All Elite, so a lot of these wrestlers I do not know, but I've heard of, so I'm kind of excited to see like them wrestle for the first time. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop rambling now. Okay, so this is the first thing that I found interesting. The pre-shows for AEW are called the Buy-In, which is really interesting because I thought that was reserved for Double or Nothing, because I thought it was some sort of gambling reference or something, but I guess not. But okay, so on the Buy-In, which is the pre-show, you have Sonny Kiss versus Peter Avalon with Leva Bates. I don't necessarily know too much of either I was going to say superstar, sorry, that's a WWE thing. I don't know too much of either wrestler, but I am familiar with Sonny Kiss because of the controversy that Jim Cornette was under for calling Sonny I think he called him like a drag queen, cross-dresser. I forget what word he used, but essentially that honestly is the only reason why I know Sonny Kiss. Peter Avalon, I know he was on the Buy-In at last pay-per-view, which was Fyter Fest, but I admittedly didn't watch the Buy-In, so I didn't get to become familiar with him. Leva Bates, however, the girl that Peter Avalon is aligned with, I am very familiar with because of her time on the indie scene, as well as her time in NXT as Blue Pants. So, for this match, I'm gonna have to go with Peter Avalon, just because he is aligned with Leva Bates, and I actually do enjoy Leva Bates and the whole fact that she cosplays and the whole fact that she got a gimmick so silly as Blue Pants over, because man, that NXT crowd loved her. So for that alone, I am going to go with Peter Avalon and Leva Bates. The next match on the Buy-In is Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc, and Darby Allin versus MJF, Shawn Spears, and Sammy Guevara. First of all, I mean, maybe it's because all these 6 men were on the main show for Fyter Fest, but I don't understand why guys like Joey Janela Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, MJF, Shawn Spears, and even Sammy, like literally all of them. I don't understand why 6, wrestlers of this caliber is on a pre-show. Maybe it's because, the idea is that AEW wants to give everybody fair chances. Like sometimes you put them on the main show, sometimes you put them on the pre-show, and it alternates. Maybe that's my only justification for that, I would assume. But other than that, I really don't see, like I said, why wrestlers of this caliber would be on a pre-show. But nonetheless, that's going to be a freaking barn burner of a match. And if you're asking me who I'm going for, I don't know, first of all, because I like members on opposing teams. Like, I really appreciate, Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin. But then I really do appreciate MJF and Shawn Spears. So I don't know who I'm going to root for on this one. I will say, though, I think it's a little bit confusing that Darby Allin and MJF are on the same team, especially because Darby was the one who faced Cody Rhodes before he got busted open. I'm not Darby Allin, sorry. Shawn Spears and MJF are on the same team because but Shawn Spears obviously hit Cody Rhodes in the freaking side of the head and busted him open, and then MJF was at Cody's side to see if he was okay. Again, I don't even know if that was a part of the story or if it was legit, because apparently that shot to the head actually did go wrong. So I don't know. In my mind, it seems like in the storyline, MJF would be protecting his buddy Cody, but then he's teaming up with the guy who beat him up. But again, AEW says they're not really following storylines, which in my opinion, that's one of the things that I don't necessarily like about AEW, because I get it. I get wrestling just for the sake of wrestling, but to me, that's always been reserved for fighting, because for, MMA, because, for me, one of the main things that I love about wrestling is the story and how, these people are wrestling each other and why they have beef. With AEW, it just kind of seems like they're just throwing people together to wrestle just for the sake of wrestling. And again, it's fine because all these wrestlers are incredible, but at the same time, I want a story. I want reason to be invested into these characters, to like these characters and to not like them. But that's just me. But anyway, for this match, again, I really don't freaking know what the hell I am going to, who I'm going to root for, because like I said, I like both, members on opposing teams. But, I mean, I think I'm going to go with MJF, Shawn Spears, and Sammy Guevara, the heel team. And I think that's where I'm going to go. The bad guys. Next match, I don't necessarily know if this is on the buy-in or if it's on the main card, because it literally just got announced today, which I am really excited for, because Britt Baker and Riho will be taking on Bea Priestley and Shako Nakajima. I'm pretty sure I butchered her name. I apologize for that. But I'm super duper excited because Britt Baker, when I watched Double or Nothing, was one of the women that I was super impressed with. And I looked at her and I was like, I'm gonna like you, aren't I? So the fact that she's on this card is amazing. I'm super excited for it. And then her partner, Riho, has been amazing in the last 2 AEW pay-per-views. And I don't really know very much about Bea Priestley other than she's dating Will Ospreay, because that's when all the drama was happening. That was the one thing I found out. Same thing with Shako Nakajima. I'm not really familiar with her either. So with that being said, I have to go with Britt Baker and Riho over Bea Priestley and Shako Nakajima. This next thing is really interesting because apparently Chris Jericho is going to get a live and uncensored mic. So that's going to be an amazing promo, blessing all our ears. And also, I definitely think that this is where we'll see Jon Moxley show up, because obviously he's not on the card, which I found quite surprising. So I figured, well, if he doesn't have a match, he's probably going to have something to do with Jericho and Jericho's live mic, especially because we didn't see Jericho at Fyter Fest, and the last time we saw him, Dean Ambrose, forgive me, Jon Moxley laid him out and, making his debut. So obviously that story is going to continue. That I'm actually really excited for, because I think Chris Jericho versus Dean. I keep saying Dean. I need to break that habit. Jon Moxley, not Dean Ambrose. The last time they feuded in WWE, they produced some really good stuff, even though some of it was really cheesy. The matches were still really good, so I'm excited to see where their feud goes, especially like carrying over to All Out. Let's see. And the next match is the Dark Order, which consists of Evil Uno, and then Evil Uno and Stu Grayson versus Angelico and Jack Evans versus Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Again, not too familiar with a lot of these wrestlers, but I am familiar with Angelico and Jack Evans because I watched them when they were in Lucha Underground. And then Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, I'm just familiar with them because of how different their gimmick is. So I'm very intrigued by that alone. And then Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, I have no idea who they are, but just by their names, I feel like they would be a team that I would like. So again, because I'm unfamiliar with a lot of the wrestlers in this match, I gotta go with the wrestlers I do know, which is Angelico and Jack Evans. Please let me know, like, if you know, before I go forward, if you would like me to see any matches involving any of these people on the card that you think I need to see before going into, Fight of the Fallen, because I do want to learn more about AEW and their talent. So if you have any match recommendations, please drop them down below, or you can tweet me at GreatLove91. Either or works. But moving on anyway, another tag match, which I'm super duper excited for because from what I've seen thus far, AEW seems to be really focusing on their tag team division, and I think that's something great because I really, really do enjoy tag team wrestling. So it's the Lucha Brothers, Pennington Jr. and Phoenix versus SoCal Uncensored, Scorpio Sky. Sorry, I messed up. Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian with Christopher Daniels. There you go. That was a mouthful. But again, I am very, very excited for this match because tag team wrestling, and I'm actually familiar with all of the tag teams involved, which makes me even more excited because, again, I feel invested, and being invested in something is a good feeling, especially when it comes to professional wrestling. So with that being said, I am going to go with the Lucha Bros on that one. I definitely think they're the most intriguing as far as like gimmick-wise or character-wise. I don't know how you would phrase it in AEW, but I really do like them, and I like what I've seen thus far. So I'm going to go with them, especially because I know Pennington Jr. and Phoenix, both from Lucha Underground, and I did enjoy their time there too. So with that being said, Lucha Bros is who I'm going for. This next match I am excited for because I've heard so much about Sabian, I don't know how you say his last name, but I've heard so much about him on like Twitter and the wrestling community on social medias, and again, I'm really unfamiliar with a lot of these guys, so it is my first exposure to them, so I'm super duper excited for that, and of course, I know how great Adam Hangman Page is, so I feel like this match could be really, really good, maybe even match of the night. For this one, though, I'm going to go with Hangman Page again because I'm more familiar with his work. So I got to lean with what I know. Next match, Brandy Rhodes versus Allie. Super duper stoked for this match because, again, I am familiar with both wrestlers in this match. I think Brandy was never really given a fair shot in WWE. You know, they had her as Eden Styles, and she was pretty much a backstage interviewer, and she never really did anything. In the summer of 2013, I think, I actually had the opportunity to meet her, and oddly enough, I met Cody Rhodes that same year, and she was awesome. She was very pleasant to meet, and for that, she has a soft spot in my heart. And Allie is the same way because I absolutely adore everything that Allie and Rosemary did in their time together in TNA. So with this match, this is probably the one match of the card that I'm like, oh, you're tearing me apart in 2 pieces. And usually wrestling at least does that once. So thank you, AEW, for sticking with the trend and killing me. Sorry guys, there's noises outside. And the dog doesn't like the noise. But for this match, I am Switzerland, strictly Switzerland, because I would be okay with whoever wins. But for the sake of predicting, I think Brandy Rhodes is going to win because she's the, what is it, chief operating officer? She has this really catchy thing, and I keep forgetting what it's called. I think it's like chief woman in charge or something like that. That's pretty cool. The next match, the co-main event, at least I think it's the co-main event, is Kenny Omega versus Cima. Also, Super Chio. Hey. Chio. Why? I'm also excited for this match. Sorry guys, dog he's freaking out because there's noises outside. But, okay, Kenny Omega versus Cima. I'm excited for this match because, again, I know how elite, if you will, Kenny Omega is. And same thing with Cima. I got to see him in the buy-in, a little bit of the buy-in that I did watch for the last Fyter Fest. I don't remember who he wrestled, but I remember being really impressed by him, and he won his match, I believe. So, gonna be a good match. Again, gotta go with what I know, so I'm gonna pick Kenny Omega here. And in the main event, finally, I know this video has been really long, so if you have stuck with me, you're the best, and thank you for that. But in the main event, we will see the Rhodes brothers, Dustin and Cody Rhodes, taking on more brothers, twin brothers, the Young Bucks. Man, this match is going to be amazing, and it better main event, because if it doesn't, what are you doing, AEW? Why? No, but seriously, I have been looking forward to this match since it was announced at Double or Nothing after that classic that Cody and Dustin put on, and then Cody talked about how he signed the contract for Fight of the Fallen and how he knew he would have a tag match against the Young Bucks, and he only wanted one tag partner, and he needs a brother, but he needs a tag partner, and then he chose Dustin, and it was beautiful, and they hugged, and we all cried because we all know that we thought of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and it was just a beautiful moment, and I have been looking forward to this match since then, so I cannot wait. And with that being said, I'm going to make this prediction really quickly. The Rhodes brothers win their match, and everyone goes home happy. At least, that's what I hope. So, again, thank you guys for sticking with me through this lengthy video. A lot of the, not technical difficulties, but noise background difficulties. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later, and take care, stay safe, stay happy, but most importantly, stay addicted to the squared circle. Later, guys. Bye!